to you by Even Keel Fish Shack.
Hold the Mayo. It's time for Mike Mayo's Lunchbox. Find out what's being served with Mike, Defo and Lubie, the only show that covers food, sports, and the proper maintenance of your car. And now, a man who had the distinction of having an entire health clinic named in his honor, Mike Mayo.
I want the flim flam sauce with the awesome bay, with shafafa on the side.
Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to another edition of Mike Mayo's Lunchbox, coming to you live from our respective man caves / homes today on a very soggy Tuesday. I guess the end of the world rain that they were predicting for the weekend, it finally arrived, a little bit late, but I'm glad it was after the weekend because we all had glorious days for Easter Sunday. And let's face it, Monday and Tuesday, that's the days you want to wash out, unless you got a big tennis game scheduled. Did you, Jeff DeForest, or you were?
Well, I'm still on injured reserve with the hand, but I did make the mistake of thinking that the rain had stopped yesterday before I engaged in my usual 4-mile walk of life, which takes me about an hour and 20 minutes. So the first 40 was okay. You know, the wind was whipping, and I'm thinking I'm going to get through this. And then about halfway through, literally sheets of rain like I've never seen. It looked like the prelude to a hurricane, you know, when the first bands start coming in. And I'm walking in that for about, I would say, the better part of, 45 minutes to an hour yesterday. So there's no way to avoid getting soaked. You keep telling yourself it's only water. But if ever you were dancing through the raindrops, that was me yesterday.
Isn't that the story of our lives? There's no way for gamblers, especially, to avoid getting soaked sometimes.
You know what? It was interesting. You know, you have to find the good in everything. That's my philosophy. It always has been. And even though that's often difficult, I still had a good time doing it and feel re-energized. The sun is actually sort of trying to crack through where I'm at right now. So right after the show, I'm going to get out there because I don't want to risk that again. I wouldn't want to do it 2 days in a row.
Hey, is it me, Defo? Is your screen like a little bit at a tilt? It looks like you're at Kentucky Downs.
It looks like I'm tilted.
Running
Lubie says no. I mean, I don't know. It looks tilted to me, doesn't it?
I don't know. I'm a little. Maybe it's just because I started drinking again. I have a little skewed vision. But no, actually, I was dry yesterday. Even though it was wet outside, I resisted. I did not go to Tropical Acres. My daughter did not want to go out to dinner with me. She was out during the daytime, and it was very wet. So by the time evening came, I just had some leftovers. I had some really good matzo ball soup left over from Grandpa's, one of our sponsors. It was a good night to just have some soup. And now here we are today on a Tuesday. And before we get into the food, I'm a word guy. I've always been a wordsmith. And entomology, not the study of bugs, but the study of words always fascinates me. Every time we have one of these horrendous shootings or whatever, we always hear about the disgruntled employee. And I always wondered, like, what's a gruntled employee? Like, we have disgruntled, but have you ever heard of the word gruntled?
Gruntled, not usually applicable in these situations. Gruntled would hardly be a word to describe satisfied or complacent or happy. You would think.
Yeah. Disgruntled. The opposite of disgruntled is not gruntled. It's content, or not going in with a semi-automatic weapon and shooting all your colleagues to death. Look, I don't mean to make light of this situation. It's just that when it keeps happening over and over again, and people who are in position to actually do something about it do nothing about it, what else can I do than just throw up my hands in disgust and use some gallows humor? Because I guess the day is going to be coming for all of us soon, especially now that in Florida, people will be able to just carry weapons without any kind of licensing or training or anything. And we all know that ever since that stand your ground law came into play, that nobody would ever misapply that and say, oh, I felt threatened for my life. I just had to shoot the guy 100 feet away who was driving in the opposite direction. Anyway, I've gone into the deep end of the political and the policy things. We're not supposed to do that on Lunchbox, but sometimes you just got to, especially when the same thing just keeps happening over and over and over again.
Well, I know you don't like us talking about this here, but you did. You started, so that's your bad.
Yeah.
My favorite, and by favorite, I mean when someone says funny and they just mean ironic, they don't mean funny. My favorite is the new stance now. the one party, the one side would move the goalposts. It was the door. It was now there's been enough shootings where it's none of those things. We know what it is. It's one thing, right? But they are paid so much money by that one thing that this is the new party line. And I love this because they won't take the stance on anything else. Everything else has an answer that they never come up with the answer, but it has an answer. The new answer is there is no answer.
Oh, we would just have to throw our hands up because it doesn't. It happens like this in every other country in the world.
Yeah. No, it's not. We're one country of hundreds of countries. It literally happens in no other country. So please don't give me. You know what I thought about before the show, and it's funny you brought it up, and I left it alone. When I'm missing Bob Dole, Mitt Romney, when I'm missing people of this ilk who I never agreed with, but they wanted to govern. They wanted to make America better. The way they wanted to never worked, but at least they wanted to. George W. Bush, even. I miss them because the solution worked, but they wanted to try. These people don't want to try. They just want to make money and keep winning.
Last I looked, again, I know there's a Second Amendment, but part of the Second Amendment are the words well-regulated. Well-regulated militia. I think well-regulated militia would also apply to well-regulated, like people who are one-person militias. So I don't get it. I don't want to give up. I mean, I know too many people who've been directly impacted. And, yesterday, it's weird. We know people in Louisville. And I actually, our friends, Doug and Kate and Bradar, I go on Facebook and they mark themselves safe because they live within a mile of that shooting scene and that bank. And people were wondering, oh, did they go there? Is that their bank? Might have they been there? And that's where we are in America now, where people have to mark themselves safe on Facebook because every day these things are happening. I didn't, I started it. You're right. And I did want to, I guess, make the comments. And it's just sad because I don't want to despair and I don't want to say nothing can be done. Obviously, things can be done. And a majority of people in this country, if you believe polling, like 75 to 80%, want something done. It's just the people who are in power, who control legislatures throughout the land, who control one branch of Congress, just don't want to. And that doesn't seem much like any kind of democracy or representative republic democracy that I'm familiar with. But this is the country we live in now, and we can only agitate for the change at the local levels or at whatever levels that we want. And we'll see what happens. Instead, what we've gotten is going to be having more guns in more ways imaginable. And that's coming soon to everywhere near you in Florida. So here we go. All right. I've gone off the deep end. I want to talk. Let's get back to my false outrage as opposed to the real outrage. Do you want to say the magic word, Houston's? No, we don't want to say Houston's today. There's a new magic word to trigger me. Defo, do you know what it is?
DoorDash.
That's 2 words. Close. Yeah. I would say Uber Eats. That's kind of 2 words too, but they mash it all up together. But yeah, you're right. The general gist of it is the delivery apps, and let's face it, they are a nice invention. They are a tool of convenience, a tool of laziness, and for some people, look, for people who are infirm, people who can't get around so good anymore. Luckily, Defo still can use his knees and legs. It's just his paw that's hurting him a little bit, and hopefully he gets better soon. But for people who are laid up and homebound, these services have been a godsend. But damn, I don't know how everybody can afford it every night unless you belong to some of, they're trying to get you to join these monthly clubs and pay a membership fee, and then you get no extra charges or hidden charges. But I don't. I use it very infrequently. But convenience / laziness struck me Saturday night after a full day of degeneracy. And truth be told, I was playing an online poker tournament at home, and I didn't want to go out and grab the burger from Shenanigans or McDonald's. So I went on to the Uber Eats app. And again, this is something I do only maybe twice a year. And I was quickly reminded why I don't do that. Because lo and behold, a simple cheeseburger that came from a good place, and the burger was good in Hallandale Beach, called the Blues.
$12, even if it's
at the restaurant. I don't know if you sit down and order at the restaurant. Well, yeah, I ordered it. I think it was like 17 bucks. 17 and change with the tax, 18. But I ended up paying $33 and change for a burger that I could have gone and picked up myself for about $18. It would have been 20 if I throw in $2 when I pick up the burger. The bottom line was I made a choice. I paid an extra, what it worked out to be about an extra $15, almost double of the price for the convenience. And I guess it just leaves that philosophical question is, was it worth it? And I don't know. What do you think, Defo? Is it worth it to you, or is it situational?
It'd have to be extreme situations for me to go and pay that kind of price. I don't even like waiting the time, if they have free delivery. Like if I order Chinese food and they have free delivery, then they tell you it's going to be an hour and a half. I'm going to pick it up if it's like 15 minutes away. I don't care. It happened the other day. I do like this place. I don't know that we've mentioned it much, but I don't know if you have an opinion on Zona Fresca. I think they do a pretty nice job, actually, for a fast food type of chain restaurant.
Yeah,
and
my daughter likes
the
it.
other day, a Mustang and her friend, they had been drinking during the day. They were at the beach or whatever, and came home and they, were going to order food. They ordered, I guess, an Uber Eats or a DoorDash, and they ended up paying $43 for 2 burritos and some chips and salsa. And I was like, geez, I mean, if you told me I would have picked it up, you could have just slapped me with a 20. I would have been fine with that. It would really have to be an extreme circumstance for me to say, hey, like maybe prohibitive brain. You don't want to go outside, and it was worth it to have it delivered. But I'm not paying double to have my food delivered.
I would say the strength of the THC would have to be so debilitating that you literally cannot get off your couch.
You have to be crawling on the floor like David Hasselhoff was when he was eating that burger. I pictured you in the same situation. I remember when he was he actually took a video of himself on his phone, and he was calling to his daughter, and he was absolutely zit-faced drunk. And that would be an occasion maybe where you would prefer actually that the guy used DoorDash.
I was thinking of Leo DiCaprio in Wolf of Wall Street.
Yeah, same kind of incapacitation. Yes. No, I mean, why is it so expensive? And obviously, it's working because these companies are highly successful.
I don't know if they're highly successful. I mean, some of them are losing money.
Okay.
It's just they see potential, revenues in the future. I don't, the economics of it are like this. Originally, they signed up all these restaurants and gave them all the restaurants these inducements and didn't charge them 30% surcharge of total revenues, and that they wanted to get the restaurants onto their platform. So they would give them basically a free way to make more money, and all the restaurants signed up. And then they kind of kept changing the terms. It's kind of like the frog that's in the water that all of a sudden the temperature keeps rising until it's boiling. They went from charging the restaurants 10% to 20% to 30%. Wow. 30% is basically standard of what these delivery platforms impose on the restaurants. So at first they were leaning on the restaurants to charge the same price to the people that use these delivery platforms as people inside their own restaurants. But at some point the restaurants rebelled and said, we can't do this. We have to, and now there's 2 sets of rates. So the $17 burger that would have been, that I would have paid $17 for in-house, or if I picked it up myself, on the delivery app, it gets priced at $21.90, which is about the, almost a 30%, and that's fair. I mean, the restaurants should be charging for, offsetting what they have to pay for the rake. But what happens is now they add these platforms add all these kind of ticky-tack fees. There's a 49-cent delivery fee, which they revealed when I first ordered. There was a $2.90 service fee, which is not revealed anytime until you actually bother to look on your receipt after you get the order. Because, when I placed the order, I knew the burger was $21.90. I knew I left the guy a 25% tip. It was like a $6 tip. So I was figuring it was going to come out to be like 28 or 29 or whatever for a burger.
It's a lot of juice for a burger unless you're at Peter Luger.
And then and then after the guy drops it at my door and I get the final receipt, it's like, ping, $33.67. And I'm like, holy shit. Well, I can't curse here. And it didn't even come with fries. I opened up the box and it's just this nice little burger. I was like, all that? It doesn't even come with fries?
Well, what if they had overcooked the burger? Would you have sent it back?
If they had overcooked my burger, I would have flung it into the trash.
$33 burger that's well done at the end of all of that. That would be.
I would have petitioned. Yeah, no. Look, in terms of the food and the service, it worked out well. I mean, I placed this order at 10 o'clock in the middle of this online poker game. It showed up at my door at about 10:34, so 34 minutes start to finish, and it was still warm. The restaurant, as the crow flies, is 12 minutes from my house. I've driven that. It's right next to the dog track, the Mardi Gras Big Easy Casino, which I've made that drive many nights after playing their little tournaments there. But yeah, about 12-minute drive. So I got it at 10:34. The burger was still nice and warm. It was juicy. It was cooked to the proper medium rare. So I was happy with all that. And again, and it's on me that I didn't realize it didn't come with fries included. And I was like saying, geez, I could have gone to shenanigans if I had just like put the tournament on my handheld phone and been reckless and driving around playing hands of online poker while I didn't want to do
Never
that.
mind
So
texting while driving. How about being all in against Johnny Chan while driving in a World Series finale? Yeah.
As Jeff Foxworthy would say, you may be a total degenerate if you are playing all-in poker while you're driving for your cheeseburger. So, the bottom line, at Shenanigans, they do a beautiful job. You get a nice, hefty cheeseburger. It comes with fries and pasta salad, and you pull up to their drive-through window. And it sounds like I'm doing a live spot, and we're going to be there with Pat Butter.
It's worth it.
Yeah,
get yourself a burger when you're there tomorrow.
Yeah,
save yourself.
They have really
$17.
good burgers, and you order it medium rare. It'll come out nice. You pick it up from the window, and it's like with the grilled onions. I like the grilled onions, cheddar cheese, fries, and pasta salad. I think it's about $16 and change with the tax. I end up giving them 20 or 21 when I pull up to the drive-through window, and that's it. So $20 to go a half mile to pick it up myself versus 33 and change. For something that doesn't even come from fries. Look, I learned my lesson. I made a choice. I was a consenting adult. And, I guess it just serves as a reminder. But I don't want people going on. And what I did on Let's Eat, I just broke it down. Like, the only thing I was upset about, because the tip was of my own free will. It was, I hit the 25% button because I keep hearing the guy who always complaining about, hey, us Uber drivers, we need to make a living. And, so I always go above and beyond. I gave him the 25%, and $6 if he's able to do like another couple of deliveries in the same suite, because there's a couple of restaurants, and I saw that he did stop at another restaurant, my driver, at the Doggy's Arepa bar. So like if he's got a bigger order there, because when you're only ordering for one, it's not a big tip amount. So I feel bad if it takes him a half hour, but then he was only making 6 and change on it. Maybe I should have tipped $10 and made it a $40 burger. I don't know, but I thought I was generous. But at the end of the day, $34 for a cheeseburger with no fries, it's a little steep. And even though I just came into that windfall, it will be pissed away very soon if I keep spending $34 on cheeseburgers, especially ones that don't come with crack or truffles. Lubie, I assume the Lubie household, you said your wife always uses it because she
uses it, if not daily, at least 3 times a week. She will literally, and now she's not doing coffee, she's doing chai lattes. I don't know, whatever the hell.
She's so millennial.
Well, she because she literally drank enough coffee.
Is she Gen Z or millennial? How does that break?
She's
down?
millennial, but the thing is, and I don't mind it because she was doing so much like she's the one, like if she wouldn't have coffee in the morning, she'd have a headache. Like that's not good to me. If your body reacts to you not having something, it's not the worst thing to try and take a step back. So I'm actually okay with that part. And she makes them here most of the time, but once in a while, if she gets up later, she'll order from Starbucks. What does it cost at Starbucks? $5, $6, which is already ridiculous. No, she'll pay like $15 for like a quote unquote coffee drink. And it's like, my love.
That's delivered to her?
It has to be delivered. She's busy. When she gets up, she goes right to work. I get it. But like,
how about a coffee, Mr. Coffee? Mr. Coffee machine might be a good.
I make her coffee. I make coffee every day, and I make really good coffee. But she doesn't. I don't make this fakakta thing that she drinks. But between our shows, I would have no problem going and getting her Starbucks, and she knows this, and she knows how much I despise. First of all, for the small restaurant because we deal with them, and I think about that, and also I think it's ridiculous. I can see the Starbucks from our house. Like to me, to pay an extra $10 because you can't wait 30 minutes. Frustrates me immensely. And then find out that it's 30% to these restaurants too. It's like, okay, that's ridiculous.
All right. So now I understand why you can't afford a pool guy. I got to give you some advice that might not make for harmony in the marriage, but I would be saying a little less DoorDash and a little more pool guy servicing. And I mean, when I heard that you clean your own pool, you mentioned it the other week on this show, I felt just sadness for you because there's one thing Jews shouldn't be doing. I mean, we could try to cut the lawn and trim the hedges, but to potchkey with all the the chemicals and the pH kits, and I mean, I know some of us are good at chemistry, but leave that to a professional. And if you got to bite the bullet and pay 110 a month, if you just ordered out less from these delivery apps, maybe just 5 times less, you can afford your pool guy, and then you wouldn't be swimming in brackish waters every 3 weeks.
We can afford a pool guy. It's a personal thing where eventually I know I'll probably get one when life gets even busier, children, the whole nine. Right now, I have enough time to do it, so I don't mind doing it.
Do you find it therapeutic? That's the question.
Yeah, I don't mind. Well, I just have time. I don't mind it. We have the creepy girl. It does all the work. I don't have to do a lot of work. It's just
I would rather be doing 100 million other things than cleaning my pool, which is why I do have a pool guy. And they keep raising the price. It started off at 75 a month, then it went to 80, then it went to 95. Now I've been at like 100, 105. He wants to jack it up to 110. I'm like, I got to draw the line somewhere. He keeps invoicing me 110. I keep sending 105, and they keep coming. So I guess we're kind of at a standoff. You mentioned about the service industry, but yeah, I mean, gas has gone up and the chemicals themselves have gone up. So, I might have to pay him the extra $5. We'll see. But you know what? One of the common refrains that kind of makes me mad on Let's Eat, but it's kind of true, is like, if you can't afford to tip, you can't afford to go out to eat.
That's it.
I'm gonna say to you, Lubie, if you can't afford the pool guy, you really can't afford having a pool.
No, I can afford to take care of my own pool. I mean, my father-in-law's had a pool for 15 years and he takes care of it, and he works a lot more than I do. You don't want to do the manual labor, and that's fine. I don't mind it. I just have to get the chemical stuff right. But yes, eventually I'll probably have one, because when the cost to pool guy ratio is close enough, then I will get it. Right now it's double. It's not worth it to pay double. When it's 20% more, yeah, I'll do it. And that's
all of us are playing these equations, whether it comes to takeout food or doing your own lawns or pools. This is why Defo has kind of downside, or now you have a townhome that's near the water that has an association that you pay a fee, and you don't have to worry about a damn thing.
The fee's exorbitant because of that. What was the place where was it? Sunrise?
Surfside,
yeah,
Surfside. Everybody
that kind of collapsed, and unfortunately, this place, even though it's a townhouse, is categorized as a condo. So to qualify for whatever it is, the legalities, you have to have a certain amount of money in the homeowners association, and the insurance is outrageous. So the homeowners association fee is ridiculous compared to the services that you get for it. Although, I mean, the location of this joint is fantastic. So I'm happy here. But I mean, in general, I don't think people like getting ripped off on food, period. So when you start talking about doubling the price for a delivery,
but is it a rip-off?
It seems, I would say so. I would say get off your bleeping, fat whatever, and go get it, and then there's no complaint. You don't have to worry about it. I mean, these services are there. When you had the delivery guy that you would hand a $5 to and the delivery was free, that's one thing. But, to pay double for $33 for a cheeseburger is insane. At that point, I don't care how little peanut butter is left stuck to the sides of the jar. That's what I'm going for. And I'll go get the burger tomorrow.
The only thing in my fridge, Defo, was a little bit of Skyline chili left over. And
I would have gone for that. At that point, I would have recommended it to you. I really would. Yeah. You were flush, which is okay. Once in a while, it's good to splurge, like you said. I mean, the Carbone thing still, it strikes me as being a little bit
$95 field check. It's all going to be gone soon. I am pissing it away in a big way, but that's
you're one of I can't believe you're one of those guys. I thought you were much more practical than that.
Well, I'm trying. Look, I am practical. I paid for all the tuitions. My fatherly duties are done. And I've got to still.
But then you realize how little was left, which that $25,000 high school or whatever that.
Yeah, that's your daughter. 35. It's worth it. So
I knew a friend, and she was sending her like 4-year-old daughter to what's the school at Huizinga? Pinecrest.
And, that's it.
And it was costing her like 45 dimes or something to send the kid to kindergarten. I thought, you know what? I'll buy some blocks and not teach the kid myself. I won't have to work anymore.
Yeah, it depends on the age. Like, well, I don't know. Everybody's different. If you got the means, why not? Hey, Juicy Juice, Ethan was a Pinecrest kid, and
Well, and look what happened. I mean, the guy's a
Look what
brilliant
happened.
analyst here and an entrepreneur, which is great.
No, he's an entrepreneur, and and us, we're allergic to money, so that's it.
We'll find a way to lose it. Yeah, or
You
work
give it
twice
to
as
us,
hard for
we'll
half.
find a way
Yeah.
to lose it. That's our
Well, you
motto.
found Dickstein. I don't know how that's working out, but
That's
every
all
time you
good.
get off the phone with this guy,
No,
you're
it's
complaining
good.
about something else.
Today was good. Everything was
All right,
copacetic
good.
today. It's all good. And going to be heading up to Delray Beach again. Anybody up there, you want to download the Best of Delray Beach app, Best of Local, because it has everything that you need at your fingertips. I did want to get into some of the news of the day. We'll do it after the break, but apparently there's trouble brewing at that new Bite food hall in Pompano that just opened up like 6 weeks ago.
Kind of trouble.
I'll be honest with you, and I'm looking forward to possibly getting out there. Now you're starting to scare me. I haven't been there during the day, so maybe during the day they do better. I'm over there every week on Tuesday, right? This place is new, and I get there even around 6 sometimes, which you would think a place like that 6 to 10, right? I leave by 10. You would think they'd have a good crowd. There's never anyone there. Like, I can count how many people are there, and I've sort of been like, oh, that sort of sucks. Like, I wonder what's going on.
I'm hearing two different things. All right, first of all, it was getting a lot of buzz on the Let's Eat South Florida group when it first opened. People were going there, and they were thrilled to discover that the owners of the Onion Roll, which was a place that wasn't around that long, but it was up in Lauderdale by the Sea, up on that public shopping center there on A1A. Those owners opened a new deli sandwich place in the Bite Food Hall. It was called Deli Shack, and people were posting these gorgeously stacked corned beef sandwiches, and the owners there, I believe it's Alex and Melissa, well, it turns out they have pulled out. They are no longer at the Bite
Oh,
Food
wow.
Hall.
Gone already?
I haven't talked to them yet, but what I've heard is that there was some sort of, something happened between them and the ownership of the food hall, and that they ceased operations over the weekend. Somebody went in there last night. It was empty. I don't know if it's a permanent thing. I don't know if they're going to, if there's going to be any attempts to maybe patch things up. I don't know if it's a revenue issue. I don't know what the terms are there, but I know similar thing happened up in Delray Beach. There was a food hall there that opened up just off of Atlantic Avenue. And Atlantic Avenue is packed with restaurants as it is, and you put it in a food hall next to a place. And even though there's some tourists and stuff that can go in, unless you're in a major, the thing with these food halls, the ones that have been successful are in major cities and major tourist areas. You think Boston Faneuil Hall was the first one, then the South Street Seaport in Manhattan, Lower Manhattan, Inner Harbor of Baltimore, I think, had a food hall that does pretty well. These are all kind of
Miami. I went to that.
Well, on Lincoln Road, there was a couple. Yeah. There was the Timeout one on one side of the Lincoln Road Mall, and then there was another one. I forget what it's called. I think Lincoln Road the food hall. So it had. There's certain places where maybe it has a chance, but the one in Delray, it kind of flopped because the way they would, instead of charging a flat rent to the people that would open a stall, they did a situation. It was like an Uber Eats. They were scraping 30% of revenues every month, and in order to and there was no rent per se, and they I guess they helped them with the build out and getting all the utilities and the electric and whatever else they needed up and flowing, as far as like maybe cutting the build out costs. But the month after month, to just give 30% off the top to the landlord, it just didn't work. All these places had to charge too much money. And then people were saying, why am I going to a food hall and have to schlep my own food and go up and down when I'm to pay the same price that you could go for a full service restaurant 100 yards away? I think, that's why now the Delray one has closed operations, and they're rebooting it as they're going to have two major tenants, and kind of more of destination dining places in there. So anyway, this Pompano one, I don't know the full story yet. All I know is that the pizza guy is gone already. The Deli Shack apparently is gone. Oh, the pizza guy you have too? No, not there's the Italian restaurant. That's my friends Sal and Amelia. He's been chiming in on the group today saying, we're doing fine. Everything is good here. But, and he still wants us to come out and do a show with him. But I don't know overall what's going on. Look, and I do want to check out the place, but if people are already pulling out 6 weeks in, it means either that there's some sort of revenue problem or traffic, foot traffic problem. There's definitely a problem because places that are doing well don't lose 2 tenants in the first 2 months. So, and again, I'm not sure. None of this is confirmed in terms of is it permanent or is just something, maybe a renegotiation going on. I don't know. But all I know is that something is a brewing at the Bite Eatery. So that's it. You haven't been in there at all? I mean, you went in, Lubie, or what?
I've gone in a few times. I haven't eaten anywhere. They have a Cuban place that looks ridiculous. Like, it has literally any kind of Cuban item you'd ever want, whether it's an appetizer or a dish. The bacos look good. Like, the restaurants seem interesting, but whenever I go there, it's evening time. You would think it'd be packed, and it's like, especially early on, like South Florida loves the new shiny thing, and it's like, and that area has tons of, like, the parking lot will be packed because people flood the Foundry and the Rabbit Hole. There's a lot of stuff there that's interesting. That there's a Italian market.
Phil's Heavenly Pizza, where you could go in and get thrown out if you're wearing a mask.
I never asked him, but he's creepy. So, but the other places have good customer following, and that place, so I'm like, okay, they should do decent. And it's quiet. I was talking to Ken about it last week. I'm like, because he was never worried about it. He believes like you, like, the tide rises and everyone goes with it or whatever. So he thought it'd be fine. It wouldn't hurt them. And I was like, yeah, there's no one there. He's like, yeah, it seems to just be lunch is they get their only crowd. But how much of a crowd can you get at lunch? Like, I that's weird to me. Like,
no, look, it faces several challenges. One, it's on a heavily trafficked corridor, which is a good thing, but it's also the traffic is a pain in the butt. And now there apparently is no free parking. Parking is a challenge, and you have to pay for parking. That's not going to be necessarily the best thing for a destination food hall. And number two, it's again, it depends on what the expense is at some of these places. If you're going to be paying restaurant prices for a food hall, most people are resistant to that. They want a little bit less price than a full service sit down restaurant, because you do have to go around to different places. And I know, our friends over at the Sistrunk Marketplace, the food hall there, they have a kind of a full serve operation where you could sit at a table, punch a screen, and things will be delivered to you from the various kiosks. Some of these places are using that technology. I'm not quite sure of the complete setup there, but the fact that you've been in there numerous times, Lubie, and have never ordered or eaten anything might be an indication that they have a problem. Like, people just come in to look at it.
What I would want for a place, like you just said it, like, they're cool, it's interesting, but there's so many restaurants in the area. Right. And it's the same price. Why would I go there?
So I guess for me, what the question is, Defo, which would I rather go to, like spending the money at a Bite food hall or going to Houston's?
Oh, no.
We know that answer.
I hate Houston.
The food hall every time. That's it. Because did I mention yesterday that they're just dripping with attitude and arrogance at the Houston's in Pompano Beach? Because they were
the full spectrum of
fully
negativity.
committed. They're fully committed. It's not that they're, full. It's not that there's no room, and they can't accommodate us. It's they're fully committed at Houston's. Not even a 5-star restaurant, and fully committed. All right. I'm muttering to myself, you know what? The place makes me happy when you say the words is Tropical Acres. And that is a place that brings a smile to my face because they are the house of yes. Unlike some restaurants that are hoity and full of themselves, they are a restaurant that is all about hospitality, old school charm. When you say, hey, can you just maybe hold the tomatoes for my salad? They say, yes, we'd be happy to, because we know not everybody likes tomatoes. Not like some other restaurants where they say, well, that would ruin the integrity of the dish. Tropical Acres is at 2500 Griffin Road. Sorry, Jack. The Studi Alley family, they'll take great care of you. I got to get in there soon. Tonight, Tuesday, is half price wine night. When you want, the greatest in value, quality, and service, there's really only one place to go when you're looking for steaks, and that is Tropical Acres. We love them. It's been around since 1949. They've been doing something right if they've lasted that long through 2 fires. They've rebuilt. And again, half price happy hour in the bar from 4:30 to 6:30 every weeknight. They have, again, the loyalty reward card where for every 12 entrees you purchase, you get the 13th one for free. They also have a butcher shop where you can take home some steaks and grill them yourself. And that's open every day except Sunday from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. The dining room is open Monday through Saturday, every day but Sunday. Starting at 4:30 p.m. You want to go to Tropical Acres. You want to get yourself one of those beautiful, juicy prime ribs or a perfectly cooked piece of filet mignon or some of the seafood items. And they're coming up soon with that twin lobster special. And that's when we'll get back there, gentlemen, if I have any money left. And even if I have no money, I have some of those punch cards. So it's going to be great at Tropical Acres. Tell them the Lunchbox sent you.
I don't know if this was because of your improved abilities after that seminar. Did you do that thing already about the
That's this Saturday. I was going to be talking about that.
Yeah.
Thank you. It's on my list.
But regardless, you take good food pictures. And that picture of that prime rib you had from Tropical Acres the other day, that was phenomenal. I mean, it made me think. I haven't ordered prime rib in a restaurant in a long, long time. But at the next time we go, I'm having a prime rib at Tropical Acres. It's a great spot. All right, more of Mike Mayo's Lunchbox in a moment.
It's Mayo here for Delaware Chicken Farm and Seafood Market. Since 1951, family owned for over 70 years, the home of freshness. I've been a customer for over 3 decades, and it's the place to go for poultry, steaks, meats, and of course, their unbelievable selection of fish and seafood. They've got it all. Key West pink shrimp, grouper, snapper, lobster, and of course, Florida stone crab claws of all sizes. Don't forget their famous fish dip and a full selection of prepared foods. It's located at 4191 North State Road 7 in Hollywood, just across from the Seminole Classic Casino. Owner Doug Carter and crew will take great care of you. Make sure to check out their weekly specials and daily catch online at DelawareChicken.com. Quality, value, freshness, that's the Delaware way. Tell them Mike Mayo and the Lunchbox sent you. Do you like pizza? Who doesn't like pizza? Well, my spot for pizza is the Pizza Spot. It's in that little bit hard to find Riverside Park neighborhood of Fort Lauderdale, but it's totally easy to love. It's at 601 Southwest 12th Avenue, New Haven style, a pizza from Wade and Reese. It's a lovely outdoor spot. You could also pick up pies to go at 754-779-7788, 754-779-7788. Again, they're open every day but Monday for lunch and dinner. Some of the best pizza I've ever had. Go to Pizza Spot. They also have subs, salads, and more. Tell them the Gambling Gourmet sent you. If you like seafood in a comfortable setting, outdoors, even keel fish shack at the corner of A1A and Commercial Boulevard in Lauderdale by the Sea, that's my spot. It's upscale food in a down-home setting. The chef owners, Dave and Brad, do a terrific job with all the seafood classics that you want. They have the best grilled oysters in town, bang bang shrimp, lobster rolls, and deli fish specials. They also have weekend brunch Saturday and Sunday. They have deli happy hour 4 to 7, and they also have other weekly specials like mussels on Monday and oysters on Tuesday. Go to Even Keel Fish Shack and tell them that the Lunchbox sent you. We're back on the Lunchbox. It's a Tuesday, a little bit overcast. Sun is trying to poke through certain parts of our county, but still pretty gloomy here. Hey, once I'm bitching about the cost of things, one more thing. I got my FPL bill today. Man, I should have bought all the FPL stock every year. Next Era Energy, NEE on the stock ticker, because boy, I don't know if any of you.
Mine jumped. We've done nothing different really, and mine jumped.
They had a rate increase that was approved by your legislature because they're not making enough money hand over fist. Guaranteed a profit. That's part of their charter. Very seriously, they're guaranteed like a 10% return on investment, as they call it. And yeah, my bill, I guess it was a little warmer last month, but it jumped month to month. I paid $181 in March, $264.
Yes.
Oh, that's big.
180.
That is a freaking huge jump.
160
I don't know.
month, and it's 220 this month, and we use the AC the same amount, and we never do laundry once every couple. Like we haven't done.
I got energy efficient appliances. Yeah, I got a pool pump. I've got some AC that's always set in 74, 75, and it's 264. We're not even in the height of the heat season yet. You know what? When I come back, my next life, Defo, I want to be a robber baron because people are just getting pillaged. They're just they're picking us upside down by the ankles and just shaking everything
else. I mean, this is.
Uh-oh. Defoe's gone into robot mode. Do you see him?
I feel like it's Defo. Okay. Yeah,
Okay. You're getting a little choppy there. But yeah, he knows the feeling because that happened to him at the track last Friday and Saturday. They just picked him up by his ankles, just shaking every last dime out of it. Are you back with us? Can you hear us?
He's there.
Yeah, no, I was with you the whole time. I got a little, message here on the screen that things had gotten screwed up a little bit. But look, there are no options. That's the unfortunate thing. It's not like you can live without it. Try living without electricity, right?
No.
And yeah, but that does seem a little exorbitant. I mean, if that was the rate increase, that's like 50%. So whatever usage you were consuming, probably didn't go up anywhere near that. So
I'm gonna have to sue somebody again really soon to kind of make up for all this. Not that I want to turn into one of those Florida litigious people, but what choice do they leave us, Defo? If they there's no hope for the common man anymore. Except, this is why I left the news column, the city side, because it was all yelling and screaming at the moon about the same things, FPL being rapacious and, all the insurance, the property insurance mess. Oh, they've done a great job but what is our governor? What are our leaders concerned about? Drag shows and making sure everybody has a weapon at their disposal anytime they want.
There's a big one. I know when I was in school, we talked about this all the time. You're not allowed to say the word period anymore. So when I was
when is
as
second
in the end
period?
Of the sentence? Yeah.
How about second period is ending and I got to make it to third period and you can't even say that?
I don't know. You would think that they would take all occurrences into account, but again, the man we're dealing with doesn't really focus on the big picture.
Wait, this was at a private school, like a parochial school? No, you're Jewish.
Supposedly it's something they're floating. They don't want menstruation. And this
is body functions. Are they so scared of women and what happens with the human body they can't handle reality? So, oh my!
Who talks about
this?
That's my thing. Like, my problem is, first of all, yes, reality is people should be able to talk about these things if they want to. That's one. Two, who talks about this at school? No one. Even when a girl has something going on with her, she doesn't say it. She's like, I have to go to because it's embarrassing.
It's like I got to go put in my tampon. That's all.
They don't even say that. Women never do that, even though they should be allowed to. They should be comfortable doing it. It's a bodily function. They don't. I've never heard in class. I went to school down here my entire life.
I don't know what teen girls say to each other. All I know is that my teen girl yesterday, when we were in Publix, says, "Dad, I got to go get some tampons." And it was like,
nothing wrong with that.
It's just that's part of the whole racket. I have to get occasionally I get razor blades because they're so damn expensive too. I did not shave today, but men have to shave and women have to deal with the menstruation. And menstruation is not a dirty word. Period is not a dirty word. Their bodies belong to themselves. When will men realize we don't control everything in the world? We don't get to control women's bodies. Oh man, I've gone off the political deep end today. What's happened to me, Defo? What has happened to me?
I'm not sure. Maybe it was that overcharge on the burger had some impact on the
could have been overall. The alcohol back in the bloodstream. Could have been making me feisty. Look, I like to be a truth teller. I just don't understand. I always said this about anybody can feel whatever way or have whatever religious beliefs and conduct themselves accordingly. But no man has the right to tell another woman what to do with their body, especially making laws about it. So, you might think abortion is immoral, improper, maybe even murder.
Right.
Then don't have an abortion. For me, it's very easy. I will never have an abortion. Now, men are party to abortions. Maybe some of them were even our past presidents, but they don't even like to talk about that. So that's it. All right, here we gone off the deep end. If I've offended anybody, let me give the blanket apology. I'm not offending anybody. What are we talking about now, gentlemen? Oh, I wanted to talk about my big star turn this Saturday coming up at the Prime Expo the Sun Sentinel is holding. And will you be there since it's specifically geared towards the I'm not going to say older crowd. It's the experienced crowd, the people that like the finer things in life.
What are you talking about now? I mean, what is it that you're bringing up here?
It's the Sun Sentinel every year puts on what they call their Prime Expo, and it's geared towards the over 50 crowd, myself included. And they might even have some good remedies for pain and inflammation, stiffness, joints, muscle aches, things that maybe never used to hurt before that are now hurting all the time. There'll be all kinds of booths and things, but also there's going to be some kinds of fun. We have little talks and sessions, and I'm going to be actually taking part in two of them. One of them in conjunction with Let's Eat South Florida, which is better food photography.
That's a good one. I'm glad they're doing that. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm not sure what the trick is, but I don't find that my pictures come out as well as I would like them to. So it'll be interesting to get some tips. What is it? Lighting? The way you
Where,
do it,
what
kind of
time?
camera you have, filters. What's the deal on it?
Uh, well, there's some tips of the trade that if you come to this session, both Mike Stocker, who's a professional photographer for the Sun Sentinel and has all kinds of fancy digital cameras and other equipment, but he also shoots a lot of just casual things on his iPhone, and that's what we're going to be gearing this to: is how to just shoot things on your phones. One of the tips of the trade is people don't even realize this is that always turn the brightness on your phone up all the way before you start taking pictures. Did you know this, Luby? Or are you?
Wait, you're supposed to turn your brightness up?
Yeah, like you know how your phone they have a screen that
So
brightens and darkens.
not flash, just
Not a flash.
you can see.
You will take more vibrant, and the lighting on the pictures will be better if you turn your brightness on your screen all the way up to 100%. And when you shoot your food photos, this is one of these tricks of the trade that people
Never
don't
knew
even
that.
realize.
That's interesting.
You also have all these editing functions after you take the picture that could brighten the picture. But when you're starting at a baseline that's even brighter, even when you're in a poorly lit area, when you turn your screen brightness all the way up, you will get a better lighting and better background for
Oh
your
wow.
food photo. Tips like these can be yours for free at the Prime Expo. Again, me and Mike Stocker are going to be doing a session. It's from 1 to 2 p.m. It's going to be taking place at the Westin Fort Lauderdale. That's on Cypress Creek Road there, just east of 95. And I'm going to be doing a twofer. And right after the Sun Sentinel, the Let's Eat South Florida, better food photography session, I'm jumping over to Channel 2. PBS is celebrating the start of the 20th season of Check Please South Florida by they're doing a little session where they're going to be doing a screening of one of the shows, and then they're going to have a panel discussion just about 20 seasons, what makes the show so successful, and also if people want to get on the show, how they can go about doing it, what makes for being a good panelist. And I actually was a panelist on the show back when I was a news columnist. But I submitted a restaurant. And they had me on the show, and it was a lot of fun. I think it was back in 2008. So I'm going to be taking part in that panel. Michelle Bernstein, unfortunately, she's traveling this week. She can't be at that session. Of course, everybody loves Michelle. She's the host and renowned chef, James Beard award-winning chef down in Miami. And but she's going to be coming on the Lunchbox with us a week from Thursday, tentatively. It's going to be April 20th. Chef Michi will come on the show to talk about Check Please South Florida and her other ventures, including her Cafe La Trova, which was nominated as semifinalist in the, I think, Best Bar category in the James Beard Awards this year. So always good to talk to Michelle Bernstein. So big day for me coming up Saturday at the Westin Fort Lauderdale, and it will not involve plunging my guts out or gambling. That will come later in the day, Tifo.
Excellent. Just keep it going, man. You got to keep this rolling on going.
Yeah. And, I'm getting paid in appreciation on Saturday, but that's okay. I like doing some goodwill things. It's, it's I consider it some of my charitable work or something like that. But that's going to be fun. If you get a chance, come on out there. So that's Saturday. I guess the session, again, they give away all kinds of tchotchkes. There's all kinds of different exhibitors, things that will help in all facets of your life, health, wealth, well-being. The Prime Expo this Saturday from 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. And my sessions, again, I'll be at 1 p.m. to 2 p.m. with the Sentinel folks. And then I think the Channel 2 folks are starting at 1:30, but I'll be joining them at 2 o'clock till 3. So anyway, hey, and we got to talk, we got to do some more business here. And business means Delaware Chicken Farm and Seafood Market. Huge, successful Easter dinner that Michelle prepared. And she went out and she bought all the product on her own. And it came out great. I didn't put in the good word. I didn't say anything. No special discounts. And she was happy as could be with the lamb, the duck, the fish dip, all the stuff that Delaware Chicken Farm and Seafood Market is famous for. And of course, you can go out there and get fresh fish, and shrimp, and clams, oysters, and stone crab season is running for a few more weeks. So you want to get out there while the getting is good. They're at 4191 North State Road, Sullivan in Hollywood. go to DelawareChicken.com, the website for the latest, the weekly specials, along with the daily offerings. I've been going there for over 30 years. It's great. Owner Doug Carter and crew, they'll take great care of you. We're going to be there at the end of the month on the 27th. I think we're going to be previewing summer burger season and barbecue season, and some of the things that you could get there that you could throw on the grill besides some great fresh fish. We'll talk about their steaks and burgers. So again, DelawareChicken.com. Check it out. Go there. They're open every day, and tell them the Lunchbox sent you.
I'm hoping they lay some more of that roasted chicken on us. That was outstanding, and it'd be worth going out of your way for that. That was great. They do a great job there. You know, with that meat section that they have. You're thinking, okay, they feature chicken farm and poultry and seafood market in their title, but that red meat section is absolutely fantastic. So great spot. Can't wait to get back there again. And we'll come back and continue this edition of Mike Mayo's Lunchbox in a moment.
Looking for a great place for steaks, seafood, and more? Go to Tropical Acres Steakhouse and Butcher Shop. It's at 2500 Griffin Road in Dania, just west of I-95 and the airport. They've been there a long time, since 1949. That means they're doing something right. You'll get old school hospitality from the Studiali family, along with great value, tremendous service. Of course, you could also go into the bar for happy hour every day, 4 to 6. The early bird special runs from 4:30 to 5:30, and they have great value all night long. Also, a butcher shop that's open every day from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. except Sunday. The dining room is open every day at 4:30 except Sunday. Go to Tropical Acres. Tell them the Lunchbox sent you. Hey, it's Mike Mayo. When the Brooklyn boy in me wants a good bagel with Nova or some matzo ball soup, homemade knishes, or a great deli pastrami sandwich on rye, you know where I go? Grandpa's Cafe in Dania Beach. It's been around a long time, an institution, but a little over a year ago, a pair of New Yorkers came in, bought it, and refurbished the place. It's beautiful, and they are now serving great breakfast, brunch, lunch. They've got the omelets. They've got eggs Benedict. They've got all kinds of great baked goods like rugelach. Grandpa's is just off Federal Highway on Southwest 1st Street in Dania Beach. It's open 7 days. Go in there, tell them that the Lunchbox sent you. When I'm looking for some wicked good food for a wicked good lunch, there's only one place to go. That's Wicked Cheesesteaks in Fort Lauderdale. It's at 4824 North Federal Highway, just south of Commercial Boulevard and across from Holy Cross Hospital. My friend Brian there, he will hook you up with some really tasty treats. They've got cheesesteaks, just like the best you can find in Philly, along with lobster rolls, because that's where he's from, Maine originally, and they have wings and pizza and everything you want to have a really good time. Wicked Cheesesteaks, they're open every day but Tuesday. Go in there on a Wednesday. They got buy one, get one on cheesesteaks from 5 to 8 p.m. Check them out online, wickedcheesesteaks.com. Tell them the Lunchbox sent you. People come to me and say, Mike, where should I go out to eat? I got guests coming from out of town. Where should we go? Cafe Seville. That's the answer. 2768 East Oakland Park Boulevard. It's a Fort Lauderdale perennial, serving the finest in Spanish and continental cuisine in a cozy, friendly, comfortable setting. Joey Esposito and Sally, his better half, they've been running the place for a long time. It's been open since the 1980s. They got great Spanish classics like paella, shrimp with garlic sauce, and all kinds of great seafood dishes. The stuffed veal chop, that's my favorite. Go to Cafe Seville. It's open every day but Sunday at 5 p.m. for dinner. Tell them that the Lunchbox Mayo and Defo sent you. Do you like burgers? Do you like wings? Do you like late night food and sports on big screen TVs and cold beer and friendly vibe and great people? Then you want to check out Shenanigans, 1300 South Federal Highway in Dania Beach. You go to Shenanigans, you get yourself all the good stuff, the fresh fish every day, the black and grilled wings, and of course, the kitchens are open late. Go there, tell them that the Lunchbox Mayo and Defo sent. Back on the Lunchbox. So the Visit Lauderdale area, the big weekend coming up. I think Tortuga Festival is this weekend coming up. A lot of people going to be in town, and people who live here doing staycations along the beach. And again, you want to check out all the latest offerings and deals, things going on. Go to visitlauderdale.com. We are the home of everyone under the sun. That means every dish under the sun. So many great restaurants that we get to spotlight with Nikki Mohan. More than 4,000 in Broward. Again, visit lauderdale.com. We love them. All right. What did I want to wrap up with? Well, yeah. So gruntled is a word. I didn't even realize that. It really is.
No one ever uses that.
I just looked it up, and it's according to the Oxford English Dictionary. You're absolutely right, Defo. It means pleased, satisfied, and contented.
Get out of here, really?
Serious. I just Googled it.
Nobody who would ever use that as a synonym for hey, I'm feeling gruntled today, man. That's crazy.
Every time I have a rib from Christine Lee's, I feel a little gruntled.
It just sounds
What
bad.
country is the origin of that word? I mean,
I don't know, but disgruntled really caught on, especially.
Yeah, no, disgruntled is a word I like to use. And common in sports writing. I mean, you were a sports writer for many years, and I guess even on the city desk, everybody was disgruntled.
There's disgruntled employees. There's disgruntled players. There's disgruntled coaches, management. Yeah, there's a lot of disgruntledness out there.
I suppose if you knew you were about to get fired, you could easily become disgruntled, as opposed to your previous state of mind, which was gruntled.
Did you know this? This just cracks
No,
me
I
up.
would have never thought that was. It had to be. I guess if you could be disgruntled, like you said at the top of the show, then obviously
I was trying to make
would
a
have
joke,
to be something.
but it's true. There is a word called gruntled, and I'm going to use it every chance I get now because I'm the word guy, and I love that. You know what I am not gruntled about? I am disgruntled. I've been on Egg Watch again. I haven't posted about it yet, but Publix is back to their old hanky-panky because, the price of eggs is something that I paid a lot of attention to when they were spiking the end of last year. And it seemed like there was a huge differential between the eggs at my local Publix, which is like a quarter mile to my north, opposed to the Walmart neighborhood market, which is about a mile to my south. And then things kind of evened out, and then the price of wholesale eggs plummeted. And they were saying that once Easter is over, once all the egg hunts and the Easter painting and all that is done, the deviled eggs for the Easter table, that the prices of eggs should start tumbling back to reasonable levels again. Sure enough, I went into my neighborhood Walmart this morning, and their house brand basic dozen eggs at the Walmart was down to $2.23 a dozen.
That's a nice one, yeah.
It's nice.
Nice.
And they were sold out of their Eggland's Best, which were priced a little like a dollar higher, $3.33. Again, reasonable. Back to almost where eggs used to be.
Yeah.
I went into my Publix. Their house brand eggs are at $4.93 a dozen. The Eggland's Best are like $6 and change. Their organic eggs are all in the like $6 to $7. It's like, you know what? Publix is just being Publix again, which is getting away with it because they can, and people don't pay attention or they don't realize there are alternatives out there. Again, I made a choice to order a $33 burger from Uber Eats. I didn't realize it was going to turn out to be $33, but we all have choices in the world. And I think I'd much rather be gruntled and pay $2.33 a dozen for eggs as opposed to $4.93 for a dozen eggs. So I guess that's going to do it today, right? We learned things today, gentlemen.
Yes, we learned something.
We learned that Lubie
don't overpay. Have your eggs delivered.
Lubie has a wife that will spend hundreds of dollars on lattes a month. And yet he will have
Tells him to go clean the pool.
Mixing his own chemicals to clean the pool that still turns algae-ridden and cloudy every couple of weeks. We learned that Defo is still in pain and he needs magic elixir.
Experiencing some relief from this alchemy that I'm now embraced. And I have to say, maybe my friend was onto something with this gypsy from Hialeah that he got this medication from.
The finest that can be concocted.
I'm telling you, he bought a suit next door and he picked up this stuff at the same time.
It's probably concocted in the back of a van by Walter White.
Whatever it is, it's doing something, I have to say.
All right. Yeah. It's working for you now. Hopefully your innards won't turn to
No, I think it's all natural stuff, I mean, the problem I was mentioning to Lubie, I brought it up this morning because it's in the very same container as this THC tincture that I sometimes use to help me get to sleep if I'm wide awake at night, and I need to, at least get a couple of hours sleep. So I'm just hoping that the Mustang doesn't mix it up and switch
mix them up.
I don't even want to pet my dog when I have it on my head. That's how I mean, that's how strong this stuff is.
Well, yeah, and then you'll be ordering things from Uber Eats that'll cost.
No,
like
that'll never happen. I'm not big on getting robbed like that. That offends my normal pricing sensibilities. It really does.
Okay, well, all right, we've sorted that out. We're going to be live tomorrow from Shenanigans in Dania Beach. If anybody's around, come on out for lunch. We're going to have a good time. I'm going to get myself a burger there for not $33. A burger that comes with fries. So that's it for today. Thanks for tuning in. We'll see you again tomorrow. Until then, enjoy every $33 burger and enjoy every sandwich.